Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tipper Betting Tips. I trust you're having a fantastic evening and you're getting ready for the racing and the football that's going to be taking place this week and this weekend. I've got a new show that started called Moving the Goalposts with Matt, and it's going to be your man Delboy Lips and Matt. So welcome, Matt.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay guys, what we're going to be doing on this show is discussing the football from the previous week and discussing the football going forward during the week, and also the upcoming matches on the weekend and during the week. And we're also going to be discussing transfers and whatever else we decide to talk about. It's very informal, so remember, we're not professional personalities, we're just your average Joe in the street. And those are the guys that watch the videos, is average people like me and Matt, like Matt and I. So Matt, what do you think about the games that took place over the weekend?
Some real shocks. Obviously, you didn't expect Tottenham to get a draw at Anfield. You expected City to cruise past Newcastle at home. I think my biggest shock wasn't the results. It was the results. It wasn't the overall results. It was how many goals were scored, if I can say it like that. It was the Brighton United. I didn't expect 4. Brighton scored 4.
Well, I did. It was coming because United have been woeful the whole season and they don't deserve anything. Even though I'm a United supporter, we've been embarrassing, to say the least.
I thought another result that caught me was the Leicester losing at home to Everton. That was I suppose a hungry dog will always strike first, will always bite first. So Everton are in need of points to stay up. So I did expect Everton to make a game of it because they are in need of points, but I didn't expect Leicester to not take 3 points away.
But look, if you look at the game in the context of the league,
yeah,
and the results this season, Leicester have been shocking.
They have been terrible.
Yes, I know they've had a lot of injuries, but that still doesn't take away the fact that they were title winners a couple of years ago, and they've got fantastic players.
100%, and especially
they shouldn't have, what I'm trying to say is they shouldn't have lost as many games as what they have lost.
I don't even think it should have been. This is a home game. Leicester at home. Leicester are considered one of the top 6, 7 maybe, if you're talking about recent form. Top 10. Leicester shouldn't be losing at home to a team that's struggling to keep up in the Premier League. Everton have, yes, they've picked up form, they're playing good football at the moment, or they're playing football that's going to get them results, if I can say it like that. But to lose at home to Everton in the form that Everton have been in recently, can't say that's, your backyard should always be secure against lower teams in the league.
I think with Everton it came at the right time. Otherwise they were going down.
100%.
So their form came at the right time.
100%.
If you think about it, because as well, Everton are top 10 side.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
They've got, they should. Everton shouldn't be where they are. The players they've got in, like, you don't see Dele Alli playing. Yeah, I think he's injured. Donny van de Beek from United. I think he could be a world-class player with a good manager.
Like, he should have been starting for United.
He should have been in the
He should have been given an opportunity to play instead of the 5 or 3 minutes that he was given every game.
100%.
When he was lucky to come on.
I think players at United are very lucky to even get contracts at United, considering the rock that they perform week in, week out.
Look, United need a whole revamp, starting with the captain, Harry Maguire. He's not good enough to be United's captain, and he's not a leader at all.
I don't think he's good enough to start for Man United. I wouldn't say he's not good enough to be at Man United, solely because United bought him back home, based on what he did with Leicester. He was part of Leicester's title league. Well, no, he wasn't part of Leicester's title league, but he performed well at Leicester. He's a centre back who starts for England.
But the thing is that people say, but look at him for England. Look at him for England.
Great.
But he's not playing for England, he's playing for United. We want him to perform for United.
100%.
And he's not doing it.
And that's why I say I don't think he's good enough to start for United. I think
let alone be the captain.
let alone be the captain. There's a lot of players who I don't think should be the captain. Captain from the start should have been, in my opinion, De Gea. I think he's been at United since 2012.
Should have been given the armband
from
the beginning, and they should have backed him. They should have come out and backed him from the beginning with this. The other keeper, the backup keeper,
Henderson.
Henderson.
I also think he's
It's not Henderson.
Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson.
Yeah, the lefty for United.
Yeah, Dean Henderson. Okay.
I always thought when United had that blip with Solskjaer where they started to go into that bad phase, I always thought Henderson should have been given opportunities. He's a young talent.
But he was given a lot of chances.
And he made a lot of mistakes. But
exactly.
that, in my opinion, comes with the form that the team was going in. You look at the players like Luke Shaw was one of the top best left backs in the world last season. But this season he was very poor defensively attacking.
They were shocking.
You look at Rafael Varane this season. He's a three-time Champions League winner with Real Madrid.
I think the problem with United is even world-class players come there and their whole mindset and attitude changes in respect of wanting to play for the badge.
Yeah.
And I've seen it time and time again. There's a rot in that change room. There's something rotting that change room and rotting those players. I know who it is. I have a feeling who it is. And hopefully that player leaves.
I also have a feeling, I think he's a world-class player. I just think his attitude towards the game and towards
the club is
not good enough.
Yeah.
Didn't agree with the transfer when it was made. When he got signed, I didn't think it was a good transfer for him. I always thought a move to Madrid or to City was better.
He's not, I would say he's not quick enough for the Premier League, and the Premier League is a quick league.
I think he's more of he would fit the City team because they hold the ball so much. That's probably the only team I would see him doing well in the Premier League, is because before he had this, you saw his attitude. Because they hold the ball so well, they can play that, and City kind of play a similar style of having the ball to, like when he plays with France, he's allowed to move around the midfield. Saying France, we kind of gave away who we're talking about.
I think everybody knows who we're talking about.
Exactly. So when he is on the ball, he's arguably one of the best midfielders in today's game. His ability to pass the ball, he has strength. He isn't quick, but when he has the ball at his feet, his knowledge of the game to actually move the ball around him and keep the ball close is good. And that's why I do think, not now, before his move to United, his move to City would have been so much better because of City having the ball, holding onto the ball and allowing him to dictate the play. United at the moment, since Ferguson left, they didn't have ball players. They lost Scholes. These are all players who we talk about City now. Paul Scholes could ping the ball out to the left, to the right. He could play the ball in close around him. United don't have that quality at the moment. Fernandes, he's good. I just think he's too inconsistent. And that goes with the team. United are not in the best. United are in some terrible form. Some terrible attitude at the club.
Well, they need a whole revamp.
And his interviews showed that there is attitude inside of him as well as other players. Yes, he accepted they're not good enough to wear the United shirt, but you could see there's no emotion. Roy Keane will always say there's no emotion, there's no raw hunger to do
Every
well.
time they lost, they should have been left at the change room and made to walk home. They shouldn't have got on that bus.
Feeling.
You know what Roy Keane says?
Down.
You're not getting on the bus. You're not good enough to get on the bus.
There's never ever.
But what I want to do is, I want to come back to this weekend's game. United is a topic for hours, but I want to come back to this game. I really enjoyed. I haven't enjoyed many games this season, obviously because of United, but also some other games haven't been lived up to the standards of what they should be.
They should be, yeah.
But look at that Tottenham-Liverpool game. I thought that was a fantastic game, and I thought that was a masterclass from Antonio Conte.
Well, they played to their strengths. You watched the interview where Jurgen Klopp said he didn't like that style of football. No team, unless you're Manchester City, is going to Anfield and full out attacking Liverpool. No team is doing that because you're getting run off the park. We saw City do it because the City can play with the ball.
I didn't enjoy that comment from Klopp because he's grown on me as a manager. I think he's been very professional. I think he's been very professional, and I rate him as one of the top 3-4 in the world. But I didn't like his comment with regards to how Conte approached the game. I think that was offside. But what he should have done was said, "Listen, we were outplayed."
They were, and if people can say Liverpool had this much position, that Tottenham had this many blocks, but Tottenham played to their strengths.
But Liverpool had their chances.
And Liverpool had their chances.
Exactly. You can't say that. You can't say Liverpool never turned up for the game because they did.
Both teams played exceptional football. Both teams played well. Tottenham defended exceptional. And when Tottenham were going through that stage,
I just think don't you think Tottenham were hungrier than Liverpool?
I do.
And I think
Tottenham wanted the results, I think, a bit more than Liverpool.
But let's give Conte credit.
Oh, they played exactly how they should have. And you look at the chances Spurs might have had. They did have chances on the break, and we saw that one where they passed it in between Liverpool and they scored. They were, although I could say they could have been a bit more brave. You think of Harry Kane, he can hold the ball up, he can make a pass. You got the best left winger in the Premier League in Son.
Very underrated player,
very
unfortunately,
underrated.
because I think he really, really gives his heart every time he steps onto that field. His whole heart for that shirt.
It still surprises me that no team, like every team, United won Harry Kane, City won Harry Kane.
There's no talk of anyone
wanting
Son.
Of Son. There's no talk of Man City looking at Son as an alternative. There's no talk of United wanting. United should be biting Tottenham Stadium in half to get that man. Left wing, right foot, left foot. He's got pace. He can play left and right. He's a versatile player.
But he's consistent.
And he's very consistent.
Isn't he consistent?
He has the most goals in the Premier League for non-penalties. He has the most goals. So these are not, take penalties out and he's top of the league. He's second in goals behind Mo Salah.
That's why I say he's very underrated.
And you don't hear...
Nobody hypes Son up. But give him credit.
He's very underrated, and I think teams are starting to realise that now.
But I think as a neutral, that was a fantastic game of football this season to watch.
Excellent game.
I mean, if you look at the Champions League with regards to City and Real Madrid, okay, that was a fantastic game, the first leg and the second leg. But I'm talking about Premier League now. We haven't seen a game like that in a long time in the Premier League.
No. And you expect a City-Liverpool game to end in a draw. You don't expect a draw like that though.
I thought Tottenham were lucky. I thought Liverpool were lucky to get the point. I thought they were lucky to get the point. And obviously Tottenham were unlucky to get the 3 points. They deserved the 3 points at the end of the day. But it was a fantastic game of football, man.
It was. I would say, in terms of, I think both teams, if either team won, you could say they deserved it. The draw was probably the best result.
Is that how you see it?
That's how I would see it, because Tottenham played to their strengths. They didn't. It's not like they didn't have attacks. They weren't clinical against Liverpool. They weren't going forward. They weren't making Liverpool stress. Hence why I think Klopp changed Robertson down the left hand side of Liverpool. He was getting attacked quite a lot.
Yeah.
They were breaking past him. The right hand side, I think it wasn't too bad, but they did make that breakthrough through the right hand side. But I do think the game was level headed. Everyone knows Liverpool are going to attack no matter who they play, and they are going to create chances. Tottenham just defended well. So I would say fair result for me would have been 1-1.
Okay, so you're happy with the 1-1?
I think 1-1 was
not because it's Liverpool. I just thought Tottenham deserved that 3 points. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the results. Saturday's results: Brentford 3, Southampton 0. Burnley 1, Aston Villa 3. Chelsea 2, Wolves 2. Crystal Palace 1, Watford 0. Brighton 4, Man United 0. Liverpool 1, Spurs 1. Then I'll go through Sunday's results. Arsenal 2, Leeds 1. Leicester 1, Everton 2. Norwich 0, West Ham 4. Man City 5, Newcastle 0. That was fantastic from City. But what I want to talk about now, Matt, is thank you for your input with regards to Liverpool and also United, my side. But let's talk about the relegation. Are you happy that those guys have been relegated, or do you feel somebody else should also be sort of in that relegation battle?
Well, the two teams that got relegated, you can't say much. Norwich
and Watford.
Good players. I just don't think they're Premier League caliber. They're not good enough to be in the Premier League. They come up every year. They get their money. They go down.
Do you think Leeds is going to join them?
I do think Leeds, but I'm not going to rule out Burnley.
Okay.
Burnley were one of the most defensively sound teams you could at Turf Moor, and they kind of like taken a dip. I do think like getting rid of Chris Wood to Newcastle wasn't really a clever move,
especially when you're fighting relegation. Yeah.
He's a big centre forward, wins knockdowns, can hold up the play. He scores goals for them. I think that was a bit of a silly transfer. I do think Leeds.
So you say Leeds and Burnley?
I say Leeds and Burnley are my team to go 18th. I wouldn't say who.
It's a bit of a tough one.
It's a bit of a tough one.
2 weeks ago, Burnley win. Burnley beat Wolves.
Yeah.
And then this
Burnley go and lose to Aston Villa 3-1 at home. And as I say, like, your home ground should always be your most secure. You shouldn't be. If you Burnley and you lose to Man City at home, fair enough. You lose to Liverpool at home, fair enough. You lose to Chelsea, okay. But you shouldn't be losing to mid-table teams in the Premier League if you're a mid-table team as well, and it's your home ground. You shouldn't. You basically same caliber type of football. You wouldn't expect Aston Villa in the top.
You have that extra advantage.
Yeah, home ground. It's your stadium, fans. You should be closing them in with fans. the atmosphere, your home ground. That's your biggest advantage of being a football team, is your home ground. You should not be losing to small team, like smaller mid-table teams at home. And
It's a pity Sean Dyche was sacked, because I feel that the man for so many seasons held that club,
yeah,
and the players, like, they would compete. He would make them compete with nothing, and they sack him, and they don't buy him players.
yeah, and that's probably my biggest pet peeve, or my biggest itch about big clubs like United have just appointed Ten Hag. He needs 3 seasons at most before people should expect United to be challenging for trophies. That's my opinion, because he's coming in.
He's got to get rid of a lot
He's
of
got to
rubbish.
get rid of lots of players.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got to get rid of lots of players, and he's got to bring in players. He's got to
And he's
create a squad.
And he's got to. We have to have an identity again.
100%. If he
We
wins,
have to have a game plan.
if he wins trophies with the squad United have, he has to go down as one of the greatest, because United's squad is absolutely terrible.
Definitely.
And that's why, and for me, football nowadays, you have to have money to win. And this is, look at Newcastle. Newcastle just got 350 billion or whatever it is, or whatever they're worth, that owner. They bought a couple of players, and the football has changed. They're winning games.
They survived.
They've survived relegation. And they've spent money. They didn't spend small money. They spent 42 million on that oak from Lyon, that Brazilian guy. That's not small money. Newcastle were considered a small club at one stage.
Yeah.
So clubs have to spend money. United's going to have to spend a lot of money to revive themselves. And that's why I won't look at football in an aspect of how much you spend, because you spend to win money. Jurgen Klopp, at 5 years at Liverpool, he got rid of players gradually. And yes, they sold Coutinho.
And Sterling.
They sold Sterling. And like I say, they got rid of players. They made that income. But he needed money to buy players to win.
Well, they gave him time.
They gave him time to
These
build a
managers
squad.
need to be given at
And
least 3 seasons.
that's what I'm saying. So I don't look at what a manager spends. Pep spends a lot of money, but he hasn't gone backwards, because he's making a return
Do you
on
think
that money.
City are going to hold on and win the league?
I think City will win the league.
Okay.
I just think
How many games left to play?
if United's on 37, they're the only team with 1 game
One
left.
game, yeah.
City have 3, Liverpool have 3.
Okay, so those
So those two, they got 3 games each. Now City got a tough game tomorrow night. Wolves. You saw Pep say 3 of his main centre backs are out. But I think his squad depth is good enough. If they don't win the league, or if he can't field a team good enough to compete with the Wolves as the best team in the league, with the squad depth he has, you got to ask questions.
They definitely put out a team that can compete.
He'll definitely put out a team, and I look at City now. They don't play with a striker; they play with a false 9, similar to the way Pep played with Barcelona in 2009, 10, 11,
Yeah.
when they won the league and the treble and all that. Way he played Messi in the false 9. They're a free scoring team. They create so many opportunities. They hold the ball so much. And you look at the games they've lost, it's chances they've missed, and other teams have just taken the chance they have.
And talking about City, what do you think of the transfer with Haaland coming in?
I think that's one of the biggest, for me, that was a big key City lacked, was having an out-and-out striker. You think about games like Madrid, City, Madrid didn't have to worry about a centre forward, so Ide and David Alaba, I think, was playing at the back there. They didn't have to worry about that threat running forward all the time. Phil Foden's not going to offer you heart. He may score from a header, but he's not going to compete against two centre backs who are taller than him.
He's more of a running attack.
He's more of a running past the ball. Haaland is going to run at defenders. He's going to make that run. City never had that since Aguero left. Gabriel Jesus is more of a he's more of a false nine. He's not a striker. And that's why I think City should have got a striker long before that. In my opinion, I think if City did
tried to get Harry Kane.
They tried to get Harry Kane. Tottenham wouldn't budge. I think Tottenham would be in a different place if they did sell him. But in my opinion, I think City would have a Champions League if they had a striker. Because you look at the games that they lost, where they lost to Monaco. They lost to Monaco with more possession, more shots on target, more goal attempts. Monaco just scored their goals.
Yeah.
They lost to Liverpool. Okay, they got outplayed by that Liverpool team. They won the league, the Champions League that year. They got outplayed at Anfield and they lost that. And you look at the Spurs game where they lost on away goals. The first leg where they lost to Spurs, they had chances. They didn't have a striker. Strikers important.
They've done well to get where they are in the league and in the Champions League and other
cups, and they win something every season. And I think look at what they do without a nine. Now imagine what they do when they add this number 9.
Yeah.
Now this number 9 has 66. I think it's 61 goals in 63 games or 66 games. And yes, some people can say the Bundesliga, but he's done it. He's doing it in the Champions League. He did it against City. He bullied their centre back, and he scored. He's a goal scorer.
100%.
And it is going to be a big factor.
I think he's one of the top 3 in the world at the moment.
In terms of a striker, I think it's him, Benzema, Lewandowski, and Haaland.
That's why I said
those 3 are the best strikers.
Benzema's in cracking form at the moment.
He is. I think he is the world's best player at the moment.
I think he deserves to get Ballon d'Or.
I do. If Madrid win the Champions League.
If Madrid win the Champions League, I think he deserves to get Ballon d'Or.
Now, if Liverpool win the Champions League, I think Sadio Mane should win the Ballon d'Or. Because we look at, yes, Salah's highest goal scorer in the league and assist in the league, but he didn't win the AFCON. Mane won that. He didn't make the World Cup. Mane did. They're both in the same team. Mane may not be as goal threatening as Salah, but
he brings a different dynamic to the team.
If you can't say Mane deserves to win because Liverpool won, then Salah doesn't deserve to win because Liverpool won. And that's why I think the Ballon d'Or shouldn't be based on team, what you do as a team, because you may not be the best player in the team, but you can be the best. Like we look at when Messi won it, Barcelona were nowhere. Barcelona weren't good enough to compete, but he alone produced exceptional stats. He was the reason they were in competitions. You look at Lewandowski, he's in a good team. They win the Bundesliga, 10 years in a row now or something? They win the German Cup all the time. And he's in a good league, in a good team, and he's contributing. So now that's where my point is, team trophies, like, it should be based on the players, what that player does by himself. I think if your team wins the league, like City, but then De Bruyne wins the Champions League, he was City's best player, but statistically he wasn't the best. And that's where I'm trying to say team trophies aren't, for me, a criteria for the Ballon d'Or.
Mm.
Because if it isn't, Benzema wins it. Because
No, he's been fantastic.
he has what's it?
I'd like to see Benzema get it, to be honest with you.
I also would, because you look at Benzema, I think he's this generation the most underrated striker because of Cristiano Ronaldo. He played with Ronaldo. Ronaldo scored goals, and Benzema scored goals, but Benzema didn't have a contribution as he does now because they had someone else who could do that contribution.
Mm.
They didn't have to worry about if Benzema didn't play because Ronaldo could score.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And now you look at when Madrid, like I'm a Barcelona supporter. Benzema didn't play in the Clasico. He was a big miss for them.
Mm.
They created good chances that could have seen them.
Yeah, he would have finished.
He would have finished chances.
Yeah.
And people say it's the psychological side of the football. When your best player is not playing, United haven't won a game that Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't played. They've lost every single game that
He's been the difference.
that he hasn't played in. It's
He's
psychological.
been the difference, yeah.
He has been the difference. The team feels lifted when someone like that plays. Madrid feel lifted when Benzema plays.
There's almost that trust. But what I want to do is, we've got some games on Sunday. I want some predictions from you. Okay, first off, we've got Tottenham versus Burnley at 12 o'clock.
Tottenham at home.
Tottenham at home,
I just think Burnley are not
at the races.
they're not at the level to compete.
Okay, this is an interesting one. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. Aston Villa at home.
Well, I like what Patrick Vieira has been doing with Crystal Palace.
Me too.
I really like what he's done there.
So you're going for a Palace win or draw?
I'm going with a Palace win or draw.
Or draw,
Yeah.
okay. Alright. Leeds, Brighton.
Brighton.
Have to go Brighton straight win.
Brighton straight win.
Okay, let's see what we get here for that. I just want to pull that up again on my Bet365 app. Okay, so we're going Tottenham win, we're going Palace and the draw away from home, we're going Brighton win, Watford, Leicester.
Both Watford have been relegated and Leicester are struggling. I do see Leicester winning because Watford are just not capable.
They're not interested.
They kind of like it's just playing games till the end of the season type of thing. And I think Leicester do need to bounce back.
Mm.
Leicester are going to be looking for results after the Everton one. So I do say Leicester.
Yeah.
I'd go with Leicester.
So you're going to go with Leicester?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry man, something keeps popping up on my phone here. Let's see if we can get something going here. This is Sunday's matches, eh? So you're going Leicester, then we've got West Ham, Man City.
Ooh, that is a good game. I just think City have too much firepower. I think it won't be a rout. I would say both teams to score because the London Stadium is a tough place to go. I just think City will have too much.
Both teams to score.
Yeah, I think
What bet would you take? Both teams to score?
both teams to score.
Okay. Wolverhampton, Norwich,
Wolves.
and Everton, Brentford. That's interesting, isn't it?
That would be a very good game. I'd take the safe bets and go the draw. Because Brentford are playing some good football. They've been one of the surprise teams for me in the Premier League.
I think we've got to go with the team and the draw.
Yeah, that would actually be.
Would it be Everton or Brentford? Or do you want to go straight draw?
I'd say Everton because
Everton and a draw.
Because of Goodison Park.
They're at home.
Everton and the draw would
Okay.
be a bet for me.
Okay. Hey, Matt, so just to recap, Sunday 15th of May, we're going Tottenham win.
Yeah.
We're going Palace and the draw.
That's correct.
Palace and the draw. Sunday the 15th. Palace and the draw. We're going Brighton to win.
Yeah.
We're going Leicester to win. We're going both teams to score. West Ham, Man City.
Yeah.
Wolves, we're going Wolves to win against Norwich.
Yes.
And you're going for Everton and the draw.
That's correct.
Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, so for Tottenham to win, Crystal Palace to win and draw, for Brighton to win, Leicester to win, both teams to score West Ham and City, Wolverhampton to win against Norwich, and Everton to win or draw. We get 45 to 1. So let's get on that and let's have a bet there. Hopefully you guys get onto that bet for Sunday the 15th. That's Matt's predictions, and I think I would take that as well. So guys, I'm going to end this video now. I want to thank you for joining us, and I want you to look forward to more podcasts with myself and Matt, your man Dalboy Lips, and Maddie. So all in all, enjoy, have fun, break a leg, and cheers for now.
Cheers. Thanks, Steve.